What's Bustin' Squad? It's your boy said Tano. I'm back with another bustin' upload for them. And make sure y'all like the video, subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned, man. We got more bangers to come. And yeah, stay tuned, straight like that. Oh yeah, I appreciate every single last one of y'all, man. No blizzard. In road to 200 subs, let's get it.
Calendar number 5-43 of 2016, Michael Sykes. Answers, please.
In many respects, this case is very simple. Rebecca Cutler didn't want or need the defendant anymore. She was cutting him off from her life and from herself. And since Mr. Sykes, you couldn't be with her, you wouldn't be with the children. And like so many other spiteful people in this world, you decided that if you couldn't have her, nobody would have her. If you couldn't have the children, nobody would have the children. It was callous.
How he talking, folks? Don't tell me folks didn't kill his children, G. Hold on, folks. I ain't gonna lie. We gotta play that back for wait. What?
It's up to 516.
Michael Sykes is sentenced to 2 consecutive terms of life in prison without parole, among other charges for brutality, murdering two of his girlfriend Rebecca. Wow, you killing kids, folks? Folks, why is you killing kids? He really don't even care, look like.
5-43 of 2016, Michael Sykes. Answers.
Folks, what was his point in killing the kids? I can see if you killed your two girlfriends for doing some off the wall stuff, but not they kids, folks. Was they even your kids, G?
In many respects, this case is very.
But what do the kids got to do with any of this in the first place, though? Like, what do you get kids? Like, how do you missed out the whole big you did. Like, you ain't even bother your girlfriend. Like, you took their kids, folks. Like, what did the kids do to you, shorty?
Rebecca Cutler didn't want or need the defendant anymore. She was cutting him off.
I ain't gonna lie, I see why he got life on folks.
From her life and from herself. And since Mr. Sykes, you couldn't be with her, you wouldn't be with the children.
You didn't want to wait. She cut you off, and you decided to kill her kids, folks. Don't tell me that's the case, folks. Don't tell me you just let them take your whole life over her not wanting to be with you.
And off from her life and from herself. And since Mr. Sykes, you couldn't be with her, you wouldn't be with the children. And like so many other spiteful people in this world, you decided that if you couldn't have her, nobody would have her. If you couldn't
He petty, folks.
have the children, nobody would have the children. It was
I'm guessing they was his kids, and she don't let him see his kids, folks. Yeah, I'm guessing that what happened. I just froze. Hold on. Put me back in the mix. Put me back in the mix. Wait. This be blowing me out. Keep it cool, though. Wow, folks.
brutal and inhumane. And even those words can't begin to describe the carnage, death, and destruction you caused. And based on the evidence of the 2 trials I presided over, there's no doubt that you caused all the death and carnage in this case.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Them kids look like they couldn't cause you no type of harm, folk. Like, them kids don't look like they would have hurted you, folk. So why did you hurt the kids, G?
Case is largely circumstantial.
I could have seen if you would have went to court and fought for custody or something, folk. But you just took them out the world without even thinking. Like, you petty, folk.
It is clear to me that this was premeditated. You said in your video statement that she didn't want you anymore. She didn't need you anymore. She didn't want you around the children. She was back with her old boyfriend, and you confirmed that by going through her phone. You confronted her. You took her phone.
You ain't never, bro, out of all the females in this world, folk, you got on, like, you ain't even get on your girlfriend, folk, which it's all these females around the world, folks. Just get your stuff together. They'll naturally come to you.
So that you could.
But I still don't understand what do her got to do with kids, G. That's a
Contact her old
he
boyfriend.
deserved this. I ain't gonna
You
lie.
told people she was cheating on you. And after spending the night at your friend's apartment, you took a knife when you left that point. The knife used to kill Rebecca and the children. You waited outside a room.
So you killed your girlfriend and the kids with a knife, and then told on yourself? What?
That you weren't allowed to enter until there was no one around and the children and Rebecca went into the room. Then, by your own admission, and your testimony in the first trial, you stabbed the defenseless and immobile woman to death. You stabbed her over 70 times. And then, as the jury found,
You stabbed her 70 times, folk? That's overkill, folk. You did all this because she didn't want to be with you? You can possibly see yourself with doing nothing else. You decided to kill her because she didn't want to be with you. And the kids, folk. Like you ain't gonna lie, you overdid it, folks.
you killed Sienna Cutler, your own child, Malia, and then tried to kill Muriel. Anyone with an ounce of compassion would have stopped after the first stabbing. Anyone with any human decency would have stopped after the first victim. But no, you kept on. Anyone with any type of compassion would have stopped after the first child was stabbed once. But you didn't. You continued. You stabbed each and every child numerous times. You left the hotel room as fast as you could. You took the murder weapon with you and tried to dispose of it. The videotape shows you walking as fast as you can to get away before you hailed the bus. You called your mother, and while on the bus, you realized that
You didn't even have your own whip yet, folk. And you decided to kill her because she didn't want to be with you, folk. And you ain't even got your own crib yet, nor you ain't got your own crib, nor a car, folk. You could at least take care of your kid, folk. And said forget her. You bogus.
incriminating evidence, the blood on your jacket. So you disposed of the jacket at the ferry terminal despite how cold the day was. Then you disposed of Rebecca's phone. In short, anything that could tie you to the Ramada Inn, anything that could tie you to the murders, and that you could get rid of, you got rid of. You admitted to killing Rebecca. She was unarmed and...
So what was your point of even trying to dispose of anything if you was gonna go? You basically snitched on yourself. You made their case easier than what it had to be. If you was gonna do that, folks, you deserve this, folks.
defenseless, yet you stabbed her over 70 times, all over her body, as if it was in a frenzy. And the wounds suffered by these poor, innocent children, in this case, are consistent with those inflicted on Rebecca in nature, number, and fury. Your daughter was alive in that room when the room was opened and the massacre was revealed. Your daughter lay in that room for an hour, alive, but with her life slowly fading away. Heroic men and women tried in vain to save her. They were hoping against hope for a miracle. They are rattled to this day about what they saw and how their valiant efforts were in vain. Their pain was etched on their faces and in their tears as they testified. You have never shown an ounce of regret. You have never shown an ounce of sorrow. The only person you've ever been concerned with is yourself throughout the case and its aftermath.
I agree.
While they were rushing lifeless bodies down a hallway and putting every fiber of their being into trying to save lives, you were getting high and playing video games. You didn't stay to help. You didn't call for help. You didn't alert anyone. You sealed your own daughter's fate.
You want to go play video games again, huh? You could have been doing that from the beginning. Like, fool. You didn't. I ain't gonna lie, you deserve this. I ain't finna continue to watch this, folks. Hey, y'all stay tuned. Y'all keep y'all head up. Y'all stay on point. More bangers to come. You know, consistent Tano back, man. Y'all most definitely need that. Most definitely need that done. But yeah, y'all stay tuned.